Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin, this is Whiskey and Rides, and this is the morning of day 3 for Justin and Christina's big West Coast adventure. I don't know, the name keeps changing, but I kind of do what I want. About 7 bells, we're just getting packed up and going to be hitting the road. We got, I think, about 700k to cover today, out to Vancouver, catch a ferry over to the island, and then into Victoria.
Well, 7:30, we're on the road. First stop, I think, is going to be in Castlegar. Probably stop for some breakfast, hit Canadian Tire. There's a couple things I want to pick up. And then we're just basically hammered down most of the day, just making miles. There's going to be some really great scenery on the way. I'm hoping to throw the drone up in the air and get some more cool shots. I got a couple yesterday and super happy with the way they're turning out. So that's turning out to be maybe the #1 purchase of 2023 so far. Still having the ticking noise, I guess if you want to call it, coming from the engine. One of the guys who was camped across from us came over. He said he was a mechanic. Had to listen to it. He figures it is what I thought it was, and that is the cam chain tensioner. I believe it's been done once on this bike. I just hit 100,000k on this trip, and it's probably due to be done again. So downside, it's Sunday, long weekend, still not going to be any mechanics anywhere available to help me out. So we made sure the AMA is topped up, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. I hope it's not doing too much damage in there, but when we get out to Victoria, I'm going to hopefully get in on Tuesday to the dealership early first thing in the morning, see if they can help me out, at least diagnose it to find out how big of a problem I have, or how big of a problem I've created maybe. And we'll go from there. I don't know. We've got still another probably 2,000k that we got to put on after that. So lots of miles left to do on this trip, and just hoping the old horse holds out. So we're just creeping up on the official 1,000-kilometer mark in our trip, and it's been fantastic so far. We left the guys at Toad Rock this morning. They're staying one more night, I think, and then heading back to Alberta. We're continuing west, and it's been a pretty good morning. I was a little bit nervous about how Christina was going to be doing today. She's done a great job so far. This is her first long road trip on her own bike, and she's been keeping pace the whole time. Yesterday she had a little incident with her bike. I was a little worried about how that was going to shake her confidence. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you haven't watched my last video, this is basically what happened. So we had pulled off onto I guess a roadside turnout, take some photos and get a little bit of drone footage. Had no trouble going in. We scooted past all the little potholes and stuff, and some big potholes. But when we were coming out, she got, I guess, hyper-focused is maybe the best way to put it, on a pothole that was in her way while she was turning. Back tire slipped into it and down the bike went. She went down to the ground. A couple little scrapes and bruises, so nothing serious from an injury perspective. And the bike was fine, you know, had to tighten up a floorboard and that was about it. So, all good there. But we were talking last night, and she says, you know, the worst part about it was it hurt my pride. And we basically just told her, you know what, it happens to all of us. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it will. Guaranteed at some point you're going to drop your bike. And so told her, just shake it off, don't worry about it, and we'll get at her tomorrow. So here we are, and she's back at it doing great. So I'm super proud of that woman.
So I just made a quick stop in Castlegar at the Canadian Tire here. Picked up some breakfast at AMW and a few parts that I forgot to pack. Usually I come relatively well tooled out, but forgot to pack a set of Allen keys this time, and also forgot to pack my Loctite. So gonna do a little bit of parking lot work here. Basically what's happening is this little bolt here has been coming loose, and I think it was exacerbated yesterday when the bike went down here. So this is still all good, but want to make sure that's going to hold properly. So all right, that ain't going anywhere.
Well, we got out of Castlegar and we are heading west, I guess. We got about 2.5 hours here till we hit Osoyoos for our next stop, and should be some pretty easy riding. Beautiful views through this part of the country. We're full of A&W breakfast. Christina's foot pegs, I guess, are re-secured. Got some Loctite on there, so hopefully that sorts out whatever was going on there. And I picked up a quart of oil just to add a little bit into my bike. I'm not sure it's going to make any difference at all with the ticking that I'm hearing, but I wanted to make sure the oil level wasn't a problem. When I look on the dipstick, it shows that it was all right, but I thought, you know what, it's still not at the true quote-unquote full hot line, so added about half a quart in there, and we'll see if that settles anything down. It's certainly not going to hurt it. So we just got to Osoyoos, fueled up, and my number one favorite thing to do when I am in the Okanagan is eat Okanagan fruit, specifically the peaches. So there's a fruit stand just over here. We're gonna go check it out. Hopefully they have some peaches for me.
Oh yeah, sorry, what did I get for you?
So they didn't have any peaches, but they did have apricots, and that is the next best thing. And yeah, the guy at the fruit stand saw that we were playing with the camera. He says, "Yeah, go into the go in there and have a look." So we're gonna go check it out. Oh, gotta duck in quick so we don't get soaked, or maybe we're gonna get soaked anyway. No, this is super cool. Oh wow, look at this. Veggie patch right in the middle of the fruit trees.
You're gonna want to hurt.
How cool is that? Apricots. Oh, I'm gonna get a little wet here. Oh, that's cold. That was a little cold and wet, but feels good after being on the bike in the heat.
All right, well, we're back on the road again after that quick stop in Penticton. Google Maps is telling us we got about 400k until we hit the coast. Telling me it's going to be about a 4.5 hour drive, which I guess seems reasonable. We're probably going to take longer. We're still going to stop somewhere for lunch, I'm sure. There's a big suspension bridge on the way out to the coast that Christina would really like to stop and see. I'm terrified of heights, so I don't know if I really want to do that, but what the hell, I'm on vacation. Today was mostly about crushing miles, and I figure we're going to get there when we get there. We're making good time, so we might as well stop and do some touristy shit along the way, have a little bit of fun. And yeah, so we'll check back in a bit. Well, another 120 or so K in the book, and we are stopping for lunch.
in Princeton, British Columbia, and we found a place that is both a bakery and a brewery apparently. How's your beer?
It's lovely.
So we got our sandwiches. I got a Montreal smoked meat, which is looking really good. Christina got a turkey, but they were out of lettuce, so they just didn't add it. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Well, this isn't so good. Wow, I sure hope everyone's okay. Good job, boys. Goodbye Highway 3 and hello Highway 1. I think we're officially in the Lower Mainland now. Well, we still got about an hour or so to go. We stopped for our last fuel stop. So we're full of fuel, had a Red Bull. It's getting a little long in the tooth today, man. It's been a hot day for most of the day again. And this wind has just been beating up on us. So I've got a Red Bull in me, try to give me a little extra go just to make sure we're good for the rest of this trip here. Turns out that there is no 8 o'clock ferry, so it looks like we're going to have about an hour to kill at the ferry terminal. I guess that's alright. We'll probably grab something to eat or just hang out in some air conditioning or something for a bit.
Well, I think that's going to wrap this one up, guys. It's been a long day. We've got about 45 minutes left on the ferry ride over, and then 10-minute drive to the house. And then I'm hopping in a hot shower and going to bed for a few hours anyway. We'll pick this one up tomorrow. Till next time, this is Whiskey and Rides.